Destiny, the Twitch titan, the guy who's been debating since MySpace was a thing, sitting in his RGB-lit war room, fielding questions and throwing shade like he's auditioning for a remake of Mean Girls.
I just have a question. What happened at dinner that made me such a horrible person?
Well, I wouldn't say it was necessarily like the sit-down conversation that we had. I mean, for the most part of it, I actually enjoyed the conversation that we had. I would say it's like more that I learned about you from like in proximity to like your streams, and maybe some of the things that had happened before in the streams, a better understanding of like your idea, like of your like what beliefs you hold to be the case, like what you think is like best for the country, for the world. I don't know if like horrible person is what I'd say. I mean, I just think that you have like definitely some takes that I think are like pretty deplorable.
What do you think is like? I'm just curious. What's like my most deplorable take? We don't have to dive into everything. I'm just curious. What is my most deplorable take?
Like off the top of my head, like a couple things that like you find to be the case that like.
Or just the number one thing. Don't you know? It's the number one, the most deplorable thing.
I don't know if I've been able to like rank one on the spot. I mean, I'd probably say like some comments, beliefs as it relates to Israel, and then maybe like the usage of like particular.
What's like the most deplorable comment I made about Israel? Or, like the most deplorable opinion I have about Israel?
I'm sure, like if I were to like go like pull up, like various.
I'm not asking for like a clip. It's not like make a syllogism of all the things. I'm just curious. Like, what is your impression? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and ask you to pull a quote from me. I'm genuinely. I'm just curious. What is the horrible, deplorable opinion?
I mean, I feel like I've kind of gotten the takeaway from your comments on your comments, etc., content, etc. That I'm pretty pro-Israel. You know, Israel's in the right, Palestine's in the wrong. We need to continue to be allies with Israel. You know, like what the conditional allyship. We should continue to send them money, guns, bombs, etc. Continue to Palestinians, provoke Iran, create more global conflict. You know, drop more bombs and like violations of like the UN's principles and international law. ICJ sucks, etc. Like I think that there's like kind of like a group of beliefs that I disagree with that I think would have like some negative implications, ethically speaking.
Okay.
But
have you heard me say any of these things, or have you heard other people say I say these things?
Probably a culmination of both. But if you're going to ask me for like a specific scenario where like you said one of these things, I won't be able to give it to you.
No, I'm not here to pull quotes. That's like they do this here. Okay, I was just curious. Yeah.
Yeah, and like so, I mean, like I don't know, like beliefs as it relates to Israel, and maybe like a couple other things like usage of terms. Like I haven't heard you say this specifically, but I've heard like friends say this about you, like you know. I don't know, like you necessarily seem like much of a big deal, like the usage just, and like maybe there's some like language that you don't really care too much about. There's like another one, I guess, and I feel like there's probably that's a big section where we disagree with, but I mean that just is as it relates to like the beliefs that you talk about on live. Maybe like there's like a couple things that you've done like in your personal life that like would like make you have a bad character. I'm sure there's like a long list of those. So it's like a culmination of like the beliefs in which you hold to be the case, whether it's like politically speaking or socially speaking, and then like a culmination of facts of your character and prior actions.
Okay, all right, just curious.
But like not Nick Fuentes though, not Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, no, I definitely say that Nick Fuentes is worse than Destiny. I mean, anybody that would disagree with that is kind of crazy.
Right, but like you're willing to debate Nick Fuentes, but not Destiny.
You know, in retrospect, I probably wouldn't have debated Nick Fuentes. Like, if I could do it all again, I would probably like save myself like the time and the energy and the effort. Dude, those gripers, they suck. Let me tell you, they're definitely a very hostile fan base.
Yeah.
Across from him, virtually of course, is Dean Withers, a progressive streamer who's got the charm of a TED Talk speaker and the fan base of a small cult. Dean's been making waves with his takes on everything from healthcare to Palestine. But when a fan asks why he won't hop on a stream with Destiny, things get spicier than a ghost pepper taco. Destiny doesn't just answer. He goes full courtroom drama, pressing Dean on his reluctance, probing for the real reason he's dodging the debate. And Dean squirming like a kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar, mumbling about Destiny's deplorable takes and vague character flaws without ever landing a punch. It's like watching a fencing match where one guy's got a sword and the other's waving a pool noodle. The crux of the drama? Dean thinks Destiny's got some views, particularly on Israel, that are so toxic they belong in a hazmat suit. He's heard things, seen things, maybe even felt things in proximity to Destiny's streams that make him think, Nope, this guy's a bad vibe. But when pressed to name a specific deplorable take, Dean's got nothing concrete. Just a vibe, a feeling, a culmination of whispers and ex-posts that paint Destiny as the boogeyman of the online left. Destiny, meanwhile, is leaning into the interrogation like a detective who smells blood, asking for receipts and getting none. It's a moment so awkward, so gloriously unhinged, that it's gone viral UED on X, with posts calling Dean a coward, Destiny a bully, and the whole thing a masterclass in dodging. The internet's eating it up, and we're here to dissect every delicious second of it. A time when progressives are simultaneously trying to save the world and tearing each other apart like a pack of wolves fighting over the last vegan burger. Destiny, aka Stephen Bunnell, is the undisputed king of Twitch debates, a guy who's built a career on arguing with everyone from Hassan Piker to Nick Fuentes, armed with nothing but logic, a webcam, and an encyclopedic knowledge of policy minutiae. He's the guy you call when you need someone to dismantle a bad take in real time, like a verbal Black & Decker. Dean Withers, on the other hand, is the new kid on the block, a progressive streamer who's got the charisma to rally a crowd and the takes to spark 1,000x threads. He's the kind of guy who'd give a talk about universal basic income and then cry on stream about the state of the world. Relatable, passionate, but maybe a little light on receipts. The fan question that sparks this confrontation is a classic. Dean, why won't you debate Destiny? It's the kind of question that thrives in the Twitch chat, where fans are less interested in policy and more interested in bloodsport. And Destiny? He's ready for it. He doesn't just answer. He turns it into a cross-examination, pressing Dean on why he's so scared to hop on a stream and slug it out. Dean's response is a masterclass in evasion. Vague accusations about Destiny's deplorable views, particularly on Israel, mixed with some mumbling about character flaws and things he's heard. It's like watching someone try to parallel park in a hurricane. Lots of effort, zero results. And the internet? It's a circus, with ex-posts lighting up like a Las Vegas marquee, some praising Destiny's tenacity, others calling Dean a snowflake, and a few just memeing the whole thing into oblivion with gifs of popcorn and wrestling matches. Because Destiny confronting Dean is like watching a lion corner a gazelle that's forgotten how to run. Destiny's not just asking why Dean won't debate. He's peeling back the layers of Dean's psyche, exposing the fear, the uncertainty, the vibe-based politics that define so much of the online left. Dean's trying to play it cool, but he's floundering, throwing out buzzwords like deplorable and Israel, without a single specific to back it up. It's like accusing someone of stealing your lunch, but refusing to say what sandwich they took. And Destiny? He's loving it, leaning into the awkwardness like a stand-up comic, milking a bad heckler. He's not here to make friends. He's here to make a point. And the point is that Dean's got nothing but vibes and secondhand gossip. As a liberal commentator with a penchant for unhinged rants, I can't help but see this as a metaphor for the left's ongoing identity crisis. The online left in 2025 is a house divided, a chaotic mess of purity tests, performative outrage, and debates so niche they make quantum physics look mainstream. Destiny and Dean represent two sides of this mess. Destiny's the pragmatist, the guy who wants to debate policy with citations and syllogisms, while Dean's the vibe merchant, the one who's got a knack for rallying the base with passion and tears, but fumbles when it comes to specifics. When Destiny presses Dean on his deplorable takes, he's not just calling out one streamer, he's calling out a whole culture that prioritizes feelings over facts, vibes over evidence, and X-clout over actual progress. Let's talk about Dean's accusations, because they're the heart of this drama. He's got a laundry list of grievances about Destiny, vague stuff about deplorable views, particularly on Israel, and some hand-wavy nonsense about character flaws and things he's heard. The Israel bit is the big one, because it's the third rail of online politics, a topic so radioactive it could power a small city. Dean's implying that Destiny's pro-Israel stance, his belief that the US should keep supporting its ally with money, guns, and bombs, is not just wrong, but morally bankrupt. The kind of take that gets you canceled faster than you can say BDS. But when pressed for specifics, Dean's got nothing. No clips, no quotes, just a vibe and some secondhand gossip from friends who've maybe watched a Destiny stream or two. It's like accusing someone of being a bad cook because you heard they burned a lasagna once. Destiny's response is peak Destiny, calm, surgical, and just a little bit savage. He's not denying his views on Israel. He's been vocal about supporting the US-Israel alliance, arguing that it's a strategic necessity in a messy world. But he's also not letting Dean off the hook, pressing him to name a specific deplorable take and watching him squirm when he can't. It's a masterclass in debate, a reminder that Destiny's not just a streamer. He's a verbal assassin, the kind of guy who'd argue with a stop sign and win. And the internet, it's eating it up, with ex-posts calling Dean a coward for dodging the debate, and others accusing Destiny of bullying a smaller creator. One user summed it up with a meme of a chessboard labeled Destiny and a checkerboard labeled Dean, which honestly feels about right.